The next major step for full-scale digital ID just took place. Apple has announced that their iPhone will now have digital ID. What does this mean? The Apple iPhone digital ID is just going to be a digital representation of your US passport. Let me take you through it. So with Apple's iPhone, you would essentially load on your US passport into the Wallet app, and it'll also be accessible on your Apple Watch. This basically allows US passport holders to create digital identity credential based on your passport information. So this is a digital identity credential. It's not yet going to be connected to all that you are, all the info data, your history, or financial transactions yet. This is just a digital credential based on your passport info. But again, it's another major step towards the coming control grid. When users actually do this, iPhone users do this, step one is you're going to scan your passport photo page, and that's also going to read the embedded microchip in your passport. If you didn't know already, there's an embedded microchip in every US passport. The second step is it'll give you a facial scan. So your biometric authentication. It's going to scan your face from different angles. It's going to require you to do different head movements. This is the step of collecting biometric data, giving it to a private company like Apple. Users then can present their digital ID at in-person checkpoints. For example, over 250 US airports. Right now, it's only for domestic travel, not international. If you do international, you are required to have your physical passport in hand. So the digital ID on the Apple iPhone, they say it's encrypted and it's just stored on your device. Apple says that they cannot see when or where your ID is being used. Again, that's their claim, but how often do we trust what tech companies tell us about our data and how they protect it or what they can see or not see? This all plays in, again, to Agenda 2030, the digital legal identity. So they are trying to go for identities that are managed, verified, used digitally for access to our own rights and services. Okay, this goes back to what I said. If you step out of line with anything that the current regime in power or the global regime says is out of line, they can shut you down for access to bank accounts, to food, things like that. That's where we're going. This Apple Digital ID is a major step to eventually fully replace physical IDs with digital. It's going to normalize this digital ID for so many normies who are just going to sign up and do it, right? It's so much easier. Just put your identification onto your phone. So right now, Apple's digital ID remains privatized. It's device specific. It has limited scope for implementation. But again, this aligns in spirit with the broader Agenda 2030 digital ID control grid. These are incremental steps. They're not just going to put the cage around you right away. It's going to be little incremental steps. Get you used to little things piece by piece. And as you take those little baby steps, you get used to the cage being put around you. One more big step towards full-scale digital ID, where all the individual's life history, info, data, their financial records, everything is all connected. It's not there yet, but again, this is another step towards that. These are the questions this raises. Will digital-only IDs become standard and people required to use them? We've seen this. This is what happens, right? We normalize something, it becomes a standard, and then all of a sudden it's forced upon us to that's the only way to do it from now on. Who controls the ecosystem and the infrastructure of this? Right now, it's a private corporation, Apple. But government has talked about doing this. And of course, we have the ever-present evil public-private partnership where the public entity, the government, gives permission to a private corporation to store all your data and manage all of this through government contracts, which is most likely what is going to happen. The government will partner with these big entities like Google, Apple, Palantir, you name it, these big AI companies to manage all of our data, connect all the railways together of the infrastructure that's being laid so that your one big massive digital ID, the culmination of one of the pieces of Agenda 2030, is all connected down with your past, your history, your financial records, your schooling records, your health records, everything. Go take a look at some of my other digital ID videos for information about this. The last question, of course, is what legal safeguards will there be to protect against misuse, data breaches, tracking, exclusion, or blocking from services? These kind of issues will come up before there's any kind of legal framework in place. And that's what's happening. This technology is moving so fast. They're pushing these incremental steps so fast that it won't give our legislative process time to catch up for actual legislation that might protect each individual. This is the way that government will actually circumvent the law in order to control us through private corporations and our access to public services and private services. I would say the Apple Digital ID is a digital representation of a state or government issued identification. It's not yet connected fully to the full infrastructure and all the rail lines that they're putting together through these AI databases. So they can't quite shut you out of certain services if you did the digital ID on Apple, but it is coming. Again, major step towards that process as we take these little steps towards this dystopian, totalitarian future.